And then a guy walked in with googly eyes, and it was too bright.
Whoa! Lore Boys here. The internet's #1 bearded lady podcast is back with more of what you need. My name is Peter O'Donohue, and I'm a surface dwarf. Joining me from the deep roads are...
I'm Ethan. A guy.
I'm James. All beard, no lady.
Oh,
No.
damn. I could have said I'm Ethan, a guy who lives in the swamp and has big boobs.
I'd still
Everyone's
take
favorite
that as
Dragon
valid.
Age character, right? Despite the fact that we're doing video this week and we have video proof that I don't have big boobs.
I don't know, man.
Oh, the only
Maybe
people
we
who
should
would
do
know
this
that
whole
are the
video thing.
patrons, frankly. Patreon.com/Loreboys, link below.
Damn it, AI removed Ethan's boobs. He really does have big ones.
All those pictures of Ethan
Thanks,
that you've
Grok.
seen on the Discord where he doesn't have a sizable bust are AI, actually.
Yeah,
it's the opposite.
Thanks, Base Grok.
Yeah.
That
Just
guy
white
rules.
genocide tattooed on your big tits. Thanks, Elon. So today's episode
Saving
for
the planet.
More Dragon Age was requested by patron Rogue Squad 92 and me. I'm slowly getting through Dragon Age Veilguard now that it's on Game Pass, and like nothing else I've been playing has really blown my hair back. So I was like, I got to cover something that I'm kind of into right now. And Veilguard, I'm a little hot and cold on it, but overall, I give it the recommend, especially on Game Pass because you barely fucking pay for it. Also, I'd like to extend a warm message body to our two new patrons, Jacob Gilbert and Lotion, or Loshun. I don't know if you're a Buddhist. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but hello and welcome. If you'd like to support the show, head down to the link below this episode and kick a few dinero our way. So, as with every episode I start, guys, what's your experience with Dragon Age? Real quick.
I played and beat 1 back in the day. Couldn't tell you I remember much about it. I think I've played 2, tried Inquisition, and hated it. And that's my experience with Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's experience most people have with fucking Dragon Age, actually.
I played a decent chunk of Inquisition that got way too bogged down with wanting to do every side quest and then made like zero progress on the main quest and ended up quitting. Another thing that I'm sure we've told the story before, but I remember Ethan's parents were out of town, and friend of the show, Bobby and Ethan had got, was it the original Dragon Age?
The original, yeah. It was Origins. And it was a school night. I believe it was a Thursday night. My parents were out of town. We were in high school still.
Yeah, and those two stayed up all night playing. And I was just more of I was like a viewer, right? I was watching, and I fell asleep at one point because I'm not able to stay up all night on a school night. Who am I kidding? I got sleep apnea. I could barely get a good night's sleep on a normal night, so I got to take it where I can get it, right? And I remember falling asleep and waking up to surround sound battle noises and
Blasting.
it being fully in my dreams, just thinking I'm in a battle, like a medieval battle. In my, but it really is just.
It's full volume. My parents were gone. Both my brothers must have been out of town too. Well, my older brother went to college. I wonder if my younger brother went to go stay with a friend or something while they were gone. So it's just us three. And my parents had a big surround sound system and a big screen TV at the time, which was probably like 54 inches, right? When we were in high school, that was a big screen TV.
Yeah.
Still big, yeah.
The largest TV ever made, 32-inch flat screen.
It was the battle where the king dies, or the prince or the king. I think he's the king at the time, right?
The guy in the golden armor. Yeah, it's like that's like the opening. That's the first major battle where like you get put on the back foot. Yeah.
It was that scene specifically that woke Jamie up. And me and Bobby looked at each other. Me and friend of the show Bobby looked at each other, and we said, "How's he sleeping through this?" Like 30 seconds later, he was like, "I just had the craziest dream."
I had a work dream this weekend where in a Teams meeting, the screen share, we were watching The Real World, which is like Proto Big Brother, a TV show I have never seen. So my dream just made it up, and like and that was the show we were watching on Teams, mind you, at work. Okay.
Mhm.
And two of the people I recognized, and it was like an old stream, we're watching a classic episode of the real world, okay? Where two of the people living in the shared house were Drewski and Ice Spice. And I was
Okay.
like, oh, that's young Drewski. Isn't that interesting? And then there was just a woman who my brain was just like, oh, that's Ice Spice. She looked completely different. I was like, is that Ice Spice? And then the
Well,
guy
she's been on
sitting next to me.
Ozempic. She does look different, I think.
Yeah, but the guy sitting next to me was just like, that's her before she got her plastic surgery. And I was like, oh, and then woke up. Like that was the fucking
How is that a work? You were at
because I
work
was
when
watching the
on
real
Teams.
world on Teams in a work
Okay,
meeting.
okay.
Like that was the
Right.
plot of the dream. Anyway.
You just reminded me. I know talking about dreams is not that interesting to other people, but I had a dream.
Honestly, dreams are more relevant than you'd think to an episode about Dragon Age's dwarves, actually, because they
Okay.
cannot dream canonically.
I'll keep it short. I have a big assignment coming up in my life where I'm going to be evaluated on something, and I've been
Yeah.
playing a lot of hardcore classic WoW. And I had a dream that I needed to level a rogue as fast as possible while someone watched me and evaluated me on it.
Okay.
So I was just running my way through Brill, trying to kill shit as fast as I
Getting
could.
killed
And
by
I was
parrots
stressed,
every step of the way.
dude. I was so stressed out about it too. Yeah. Woke up in a cold sweat and then logged on to play WoW.
Oh, thank God that's not real. Immediately goes on, gets killed by a parrot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, this episode about the history of the dwarves from Dragon Age was inspired by the companion quest line in Dragon Age Veilguard for Lace Harding. She's a dwarf. She makes a very brief appearance in Dragon Age Inquisition, and then she is like promoted to full-blown companion in the subsequent game, much like Edie was from Mass Effect 2 to 3, except mercifully Harding was not transformed into a Gooner sex robot forced by the plot to have sex with a crippled starship pilot. So she doesn't need to do that, thankfully. Bioware still got a baby. Mass Effect 9 is going to be so good when it comes out in 11 years. Trust me. It's not going to be a fourth subsequent catastrophe in any way.
Is Joker crippled? I don't remember him being crippled. In that,
Yeah, he's
in
got the
beginning
glass
too?
bone disease.
The whole game, the whole trilogy.
Oh.
He's-
I don't. Maybe I didn't take much time to talk to him.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Joker
Joker,
is
get us the
real
hell
big.
out of here.
His only thing.
Yeah.
That's like his whole thing is like he doesn't leave the ship or ever go on ground missions because he can't move.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was just keeping the engines warm in case I needed to get Shepard out real quick, which is often the case. Okay.
Also
That too.
Also that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot when I was replaying Mass Effect 1 on the legendary collection or whatever, I'd forgotten his like actual title. I forgot he was called Joker because a friend of the show, Kyle, calls him Rickety Jim. And that's just the name that's stuck in my head. Because I remember when, like, the opening mission of Mass Effect 2, when you have to rescue him, he was like, oh, fuck, I gotta go back to get Rickety Jim with his glass bones. I was like, that's just his name. That's just it. So the companions are pretty uneven in Veilguard, and so are their quest lines. Harding's quest line, at least for me, was the most interesting lore-wise. Again, I've talked about this on the bonus episodes on Patreon. There is a phenomenal interview on the YouTube channel Mr. Matty Plays with Mark Dara, one of the creative directors of Dragon Age. The 10-year disastrous development of Veilguard is fascinating, and again, the fact that it works and looks as good as it does and plays as well as it does is a miracle. You can tell, I think at least, Lore Boys can, I'm just speculating here, Harding's questline, because it is so interesting, so tied into the lore of the world itself, and reveals so much and like wraps up so many little threads that have been going through all 4 games. Her questline had to have been written fucking 15 years ago. Like when they started the game, before EA tried to make them turn it into a looter shooter, and then like an online multiplayer game, and then some other fucking Fortnite shit, and then stitch it all together. Like it has to have been written by people who did not wrap that game at all, because even companions that I really, really like, it's the only companion quest I've finished, but the Harding's quest is fucking awesome. The next one I'm doing is actually, there's a character named Emmerich, who's like this foppish necromancer who's afraid of death, which is like a funny twist. His whole quest line is about him. He's like, no, I am terrified to die. That's why I'm a necromancer. And his quest line is about becoming a lich, so he can never die.
naturally.
And I was like, wicked, awesome, very cool. I don't think I'm gonna finish the romantic one because Nev's hot but boring. Then there's the sexy Spanish guy who's also boring as fuck, and then there's the 2 remaining characters whom I deemed despicable and horrible to interact with. God willing, they are killed in the final cutscene. Just like in Mass Effect, if you don't pay attention to your characters, just like, well,
they die.
that takes care of that. Goodbye. Whatever her fucking name is, the elf girl. That's it. So from
sorry. So we're doing Harding's story. That's what we're doing
Harding
today?
inspired the story. I don't want to spoil anything, but her story wraps up the history of the dwarves in Thedas. So we're doing the prehistory of the dwarves. That if you play through Veilguard, her quest line, which you absolutely should do, her quest line puts a capstone on it. This is kind of what it all led up to, and reveals all the things
Dwarves
like
are
why
done
don't dwarves
evolving.
dream?
They're not going to progress anymore. The whatever social standing you have with the dwarves, stay in that way forever.
It's
All right?
over.
Yeah.
Completely. They have a caste system, which we'll get into later. Honestly, I think it is moral and just that some people are just born rich underground.
I bet you. I bet you Joker has a caste system with all those glass bones as well.
Yeah. I played some pool last night, and at the dive bar next door to me, the hand dryer in the men's room is off the wall, and it gets lower and lower every day.
Yeah.
At which the point
hanging by
it's
the
going
wire.
to just be sitting on the ground where you can like hobo barrel it to dry your hands. But I was joking with a friend of mine. I was like, we should like for Halloween, it's too bad we didn't put like 2 crutches and googly eyes on it to make it like a Dickensian orphan. 5 minutes later, a guy on crutches came into the bar, and I was like, I need to go home. I was like, this is fucking insane.
I need to go home before
like,
I steal that man's crutches.
and put them under the dryer, exactly.
And then a guy walked in with googly eyes, and it was too bright.
Whoa, whoa.
Okay, now I think I gotta stay. Honestly,
Yeah, no, I think the googly eye guy. Yeah, exactly. He's just like the like car salesman tube thing. Just like walks in. He's like, I'd like a pint of Budweiser, please. So for some setup, dwarves within the Dragon Age fiction, the entire fantasy race cannot connect to the Fade, which is a magical realm full of spirits and demons, which we covered at length in the episode we did about Dragon Age's mages, I think a year or 2 ago. To explain like how magic in the Dragon Age universe works.
I
So
think
without
both
connecting to
the
the
game, both sorry, I say both the games, both the first and the second game start with a dream in the Fade, right? And then you like encounter a demon. It's like how they both start.
Okay, so
At least one of them does.
the first game has like 9 different ways to start it because your race and class determine the opening mission.
Gotcha.
The first game has 9 or whatever different tutorial missions based on like who you are.
That's so
Something
cool.
about Dragon Age has always inspired to me, just like human male warrior, being the most generic man on Earth. You fit in with the companions because the companions, except in Veilguard, tend to be kind of the meat and potatoes of the plot. Like they're the real characters, despite the fact that the voice actors for the voiced protagonists into Inquisition and Veilguard are quite good. I'm like no criticism directed towards them. They just don't have a ton to work with sometimes.
Yeah, but dwarves can't be magic users for that reason, right? Because they can't dream,
exactly.
and you have to access the Fade to be a magic user in this world.
Exactly. Elves, Canary, which is one of the other fantasy races, and humans
Demons, right?
can do magic. Sorry?
The Canary are like demons. They're like tieflings. Am I remembering that right?
They're not so much. I haven't really done a ton of research into them. They have like a moral code of some kind as like part of their culture, but they're not exactly like the Varl from Banner Saga, but I think they are or were crossbred with like bulls or dragons or something like that. They are something to that effect.
I mean,
they would deserve it. Yeah.
They look like
So if you can't go to sleep and imagine that you're watching a lady shaking ass on Teams, then you can't do an abracadabra like a dwarf. They can't even fathom this. Yeah.
No, exactly. You would have to have Ice Spice pre-plastic surgery, which frankly I don't even know if she's ever had. If you can't imagine that in your sleep, you cannot cast Magic Missile. It's impossible.
Okay. Got it.
So the Fade, like I was saying, so without a connection to the Fade, dwarves cannot cast magical spells. They cannot dream, but bonus points, they cannot be possessed by spirits or demons in a traditional sense, because spirits and demons will possess you via your dreams. Mages will become something called an abomination, which is like a person who is possessed. But they can still kill if a demon enters the physical world, which obviously they can do. They can kill you and puppeteer your corpse. Like the Spirit of Justice does that in Dragon Age Awakening. It just possesses a dead guy's body and just like is justice. And then the spirit leaves his corpse and turns Anders into an abomination, and he has justice, but it turns into the spirit of vengeance in him in Dragon Age 2, and he turns into a terrorist, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why the Chantry has like paladins that are like around to kill errant mages, right? Is it the second one that's all about like the Chantries clamping down on mages? Yeah.
Yeah. And Anders as a mage with the spirit of vengeance inside of him. The spirit of justice and vengeance are obviously interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is very much like it is the just thing to do in this context is to rise up against the Chantry, which is the monotheistic church, and then overthrow them because the Templars are oppressing mages because they're, potentially dangerous sort of thing. Right. But exactly. And it is the second one. The second one's climax helps set up some of the stuff into Inquisition, and then some stuff in Inquisition helps set up some stuff that is in Veilguard. Like, despite the fact it's been a disastrous decade and a half for the series, the connective tissue is still kind of there. Like, you can see where it all leads, which is cool.
Cool. Yeah, I can't remember the second one. It got all outside of like I know I played it to some extent. I have no idea how long I played it for. And I have a graphic novel too.
Yeah.
Of Dragon Age. So I know a bit around that, but I can't remember the ending of 2 at all.
I like the main character of 2 because when you just get to remake him in Inquisition and he shows up and helps drive the plot, I'm like, that's really cool that I'm playing as a different guy and my other guy gets to hang out with me for like a third of the game. Like, I think that's cool. It's a great way because there's a different protagonist for every game, which is, it seems insane, but I think they use it to good effect, personally.
Yeah.
So Harding throughout Veilguard begins to dream. So she is the first dwarf probably ever to have had dreams. This is after an encounter with a magical relic that is relevant to the plot. And like I said earlier, since this game just came to Game Pass, and if you were hesitant like me because it's a fucking BioWare game that came out after 2010, I'm not going to spoil anything as to what she interacts with, the end of her plot line, or anything like that, but it's excellent. I did link for the patrons a very long video essay by Noah Gervais, who is one of my favorite like gaming YouTubers. I posted that for us yesterday when I was writing this. If you want a spoiler-heavy review of Veilguard, or frankly all 4 Dragon Age games and all their DLC, I highly recommend it.
He won't do any cum jokes though, so
Yeah.
be careful where you go for your lore.
I haven't seen the video in a while.
How-
Citation needed, Ethan.
I'll bet you.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
How freaky would that be, though? You never dreamed in your life. Then you have your first wet dream, huh?
Right? It's
Yeah.
Ice shaking her ass. You're like, what the hell
Oh,
is going on?
I can't handle it. Yeah. You can't figure out how to turn off your camera, and then you just come in front of your boss and wake up, and you're like, what the hell was that?
So Dwarven history is very, very well documented within the history of Thedas, which is Dragon Age's universe. I don't know if it's a planet or the continent or everything that is on. Like, Ferelden is the province or a kingdom in the first game, and then Kirkwall is a city-state, and then there's, like, Tevinter and all this other shit. Thedas is, like, as far as I'm aware, the encompassing flat Earth that the whole thing takes place on.
Gotcha.
Dwarven historians are called shapers, and they are described as being like an organic library. They're high-class scholars. They're part of the Dwarven noble caste. They memorize and record history, and in some cases, they will store knowledge in magical memory crystals, which, yes, is a magic rock. Fellas, cheers.
Cheers. Jamie just crushed his drink, but
I know, yeah. I was just thinking.
he knew it was
damn,
coming, so
cool. Yeah.
We need
he's
the
anticipating.
the applause light that you have in like live TV studios?
Yeah.
We need the magic rock
rocks.
light up behind me now that we're doing video.
Yeah.
Magic
We
rock
can
incoming.
upgrade the stream setup. Like, I know there's other streamers that have like flashbang capabilities and things like that when people
What does that
donate.
mean?
That means like if someone donates enough, they can activate a very bright light and sound to a streamer while they're trying to
Oh,
play a game.
okay.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
upgrade my setup to that
No, I'm not
extent,
doing
Jamie. Yeah, no.
no.
that. Nuts, dude.
What I'm saying is the tech exists for when the magic
Thank
rocks
God.
happen to have some type
Okay.
of lights
Yeah.
flashing
Gotcha.
natively. Yeah.
I'm
Gotcha.
so glad
I,
mankind has invented a way to blind yourself on the internet.
Yeah.
That's great.
Next time we mention magic rocks on the podcast, I'm swatting Jamie.
Oh, nice. That's a great idea. Yeah.
yeah. Donate
I'm
to
not
have a
just-
9mm go off in my face. Like,
Yeah.
ah, man, we hit the sub goal. What can I do?
Yo, 2 more subs. Boost the server. We'll tell the police that Jamie's got 2 hostages and he's ready to kill them both.
Oh no.
The Shapers work within the Shape Rate. The Shape Rate is the institution.
White hand.
The largest of which is in the current capital of the Dwarven Kingdoms called Orzammar. Orzammar is a legally distinct, not from World of Warcraft city.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just
Mhm.
because this game came out 3.5 years after World of Warcraft, it has nothing to do with any of that shit. Don't. I
mean,
don't know what you're talking about.
To be fair, Orgrimmar is not a dwarf city, okay?
It's
the
not.
dwarves aren't
I know, it's
allowed.
Iron
We're
Forge,
not
right?
allowed in Orgrimmar, okay? So
Right.
Yep.
One part of Dwarven history that is just a strange, vague spot that I found very interesting because I didn't look up the actual calendar of like Thedas, but they have basically 10,000 years of history, and then the genocidal war that the what are they called again? The Scaled Ones waged against the Dwarves, which are like a reptilian race that lived underground and had like described as having like fancy armor and fire-breathing priests, is just one of those things that is just like, yeah, the Shape Rate doesn't have a whole lot of information on that. We don't know what language they spoke or what they really looked like. There are 2 paintings of a scaled one within Dragon Age Inquisition. This is what they look like, and they're just kind of like a handsome lizard guy. That's it.
okay. Yeah, they're like the dwarves fought the dragon in the dark, right?
Yeah.
Dwarves
It's an
fought
army
dragons
of
in the
lizard
dark.
guys.
D&D.
So tens of thousands of years ago, before the existence of human beings, because human beings arrive, I believe, on the main continent, very Witcher, very Numenor sort of thing, very classic, like inspiration of fantasy. Elves ruled the surface of Thedas, and the dwarves ruled the underground. Dwarven cities and towns have names like Orzammar, but the generic term for a settled area. So, like Orzammar is a real city, so is Kal Sharok, which we're going to talk about a lot. The general name for a settled area for the dwarves is a taig, Thaig. So when I talk about that, it's a large enough settlement is like a taig. There's lost taigs and a bunch of stuff that we're going to get into later on, but that's just kind of I got to give you guys the dictionary as we go.
Yeah.
Random question. Do dwarves have any like relationship? Usually it's like dwarves, rocks, elves, trees, right? Do dwarves have any relationship with trees at all in this game?
Your original thing, dwarf rock, elf tree. Dragon Age
true.
is fucking D&D. Like that's it. These guys made Baldur's Gate. I think they just lost the license and they were just they just made Gulder's Gate and they were like, oh, okay, that's it. It's just different.
Yeah, I was just
It's funny
go.
you compared it to D&D because we were talking about dwarves not being able to do magic, and it occurred to me I don't think dwarves could do magic in first edition D&D.
Really?
I'll look it up, but that's ringing a bell in my head basically.
Okay. And I know like dwarves in Lord of the Rings were like broadly immune to Sauron's rings as well. Like they're the rock guy. They're trades. They're tradies, dude. They're too stupid for magic. They're too stupid to dream about watching a music video of Ice Spice on Microsoft Teams at work. That's just what that's the higher races do, stuff like that.
Yeah, the reason I was asking is because like you're saying the elves like own the overworld, the dwarves like own underneath the ground, and I'm trying to think like what is the bridge between those, and like trees like
Grass.
from the flatness of the ground like grow down as far as they can and they grow up as far as they can, and I'm like, oh well, trees would be a cool way for them to like kind of meet in the middle, but I guess I'm writing my own story. I'm not writing. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. But yeah,
I mean, if you end up fucking with Baldur's Gate and like, I mean, you replayed older BioWare stuff with the Legendary Edition, like, play Dragon Age Origins, man. I've said it every time we talk about the Dragon Age
Good.
series. That game is good enough that I have played through 3 subsequent games that I don't fucking like. Just
All-
because they mention things I think are cool.
Yeah, all the Dragon Age games are 75% off right now too. So the first one is $10 and the second one is $10. And Inquisition is $13.74.
I own Dragon Age Origins thanks to mod / producer David bought it for
Play
me,
it.
and I played 16 minutes. And I own Inquisition.
That's enough to know what's going on. Don't worry about it. Actually,
Yeah.
just play the second one.
Why are you asking Pete questions? Pete, let Jamie lead here, man. Come on.
Maybe I should come back to that one because I remember expecting it to be like, because I played Inquisition on the PlayStation, and I remember going into Origins expecting it to be like you control a character and it's 3D, you move around, but it's like way more like a Baldur's Gate style.
It's a CRPG, straight up.
It's a CRPG, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
aged,
not what I
too.
was expecting when I launched it, and exactly, it was rough when I launched it, but maybe I could be convinced. Yeah.
You probably need like
It's-
a mod list or something to play it in this day and age.
Yeah, you might
Yeah.
need something like put lipstick on the pig a little bit because it was ugly the day it came out. It's always looked like shit, but it's like, it's so good. But what's funny is the OG Origins is a straight up CRPG. 2 got a little bit actiony, and it's an unpopular game for valid reasons. And then Inquisition, I think, struck the best balance between CRPG and kind of action, in my opinion. At least on PC, because you can switch between your characters and like queue up their moves and shit. Like you get a lot of control. Veilguard is just fucking God of War Ragnarok. It's just, you just play your guy and your abilities are on cooldowns. But it's been 11 years since I've fucking played a Dragon Age game, so playing this one now, I'm like, it's fun. Like I don't mind it. It's fine.
I'd like to get more into the universe, but considering I just got Baldur's Gate 3 and it's
Yeah.
installed and unplayed, it's like, why would I play
No,
Origins right now?
uninstall it and go play Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah.
Play
Go play another
17 minutes
16
of
minutes.
it, just a little bit more, and then go back to Dragon Age.
Yeah.
If you play 16 minutes every 2 years, you'll be done in 90 years.
Yeah,
I played in 2022, so every 3 years. So yeah, we'll bump that out to
Okay.
1/20 or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, if your companion quest for my life is going to be you becoming a lich so you can finish Dragon Age Origins, I am fucking down.
Yeah.
So I do. I know you all just took a sip, but I want to introduce a new drink here to our little game because just like a lot of the little fantasy empires we've talked about, the BattleTech 40K, the dwarves thousands of years ago had their own golden age, just like everybody else. So I am going to take a little aperitif here.
Okay.
Delish, and see if we can get another trend going. Like with the drunkest forklift drivers on earth listening to this fucking show now.
I'm not.
Welcome
I took
to
a
a
drink.
new one.
I'm not sold on the golden age taking a drink just yet, but because that does feel
that's it.
broad. You know what I
Test
mean?
run.
Every civilization's had a golden age at some point.
Well, that's it.
Not every
Civilizations
civilization's had
had
magic
magic
rocks,
rock.
though, right?
Well, fair enough.
I mean, real world civilizations too, right? Like they've all had their heydays.
We'll hash it out.
Yeah.
So for centuries, the dwarves expanded their territory, creating a network of tunnels throughout the crust of Thedas called the Deep Roads, and they founded multiple taigs throughout the guts of Thedas. So they would reach out, build a settlement, and then branch out from there. So very much just like little hubs. It's very much like a public transit network, within Thedas is the Deep Roads between the taigs. It's excellent. One of the greatest kings was Orsek Garal, who ruled during this age, during the Age of Expansion, from the Great Taig of Kal Sharok. So the capital taigs or a more important one would be a Great Taig. The current capital that we're talking about now is Kal Sharok and is the Great Taig. There are no existing photos. Yes.
Remind me what a taig is?
It's a city.
It's a settlement.
Oh, it's a city. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a settlement.
And,
There was no.
And Jamie, just remember, Kal Sharok, whatever will be, will be. Okay.
I was thinking it when he said it.
Here is the only kind of. There's no paintings of him or anything from the past, but there is a statue of King. What the fuck
That's
is
a
his
dwarf.
name? Garal.
That's a
As a
dwarf.
dwarf.
The big old big old double-ended dildo in his hands. Like give him
Yeah.
Oh, dude, look, if you put all your nails equally spaced apart, you know how much you can improve efficiency with a
Yeah.
double-ended hammer? You just bring it down like
bang,
that.
bang.
Yeah.
I like how squat the statue is, where there's like, my king, please, the new statues have arrived. Please choose your favorite. He's like, no, make me squat her. And just like he's like almost a cube, basically.
I like how it's clipping through the rocks. Like we were just talking about how ugly a game the original Dragon Age was, and it's just
It
like
is.
it's just clipping through rocks. There's just
Yeah.
like they just put the statue in the rocks. You know,
It's worth it. Hey, look, she's not the prettiest girl at the ball, but she's the best dancer.
That's the World of Warcraft like build of dwarves as well. Like they look just like that. No neck, zero neck, just that squat. I'm sure a lot of dwarves are like that, but
A
very
neck
squat.
is really like an occupational hazard down in the tunnels, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
They build a dwarf to be able to survive a car crash or an avalanche.
Uh, like a cave in, right? Like the rocks would just fall, but like they can't break their neck because they don't have a neck to break, right?
Yeah.
Rock lands on their head, they just go, ugh.
Yeah. The rock doesn't know what rock splits in half, it doesn't know what to do.
Oh, we're sorry, sir.
So the deep roads made travel and trade between Tigers and the surface. So Jamie, they do interact with the surface. They're not like sworn blood enemies between the elves and the dwarves here. It made trade between the Tigers and the surface simple and efficient, much like a city with good and efficient public transit would also make. Call your congressman. Get public transit, dude.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We have like we have an automated magnet train here now. It's fucking crazy, apparently.
Just elves having dinner outside. They're like eating at their wooden tables, and a dwarf just like burrows over. They're going like, right next to them. Like I can imagine them coming out, just making those little tunnels, man.
Little mole man.
Yeah,
Was it
exactly.
in what was it called? Artemis Fowl? Was it
Yeah.
golems that were like the mole people that like they ate dirt as they like crawled through, they like made tunnels?
I think it's the dwarves that got
Was it
sustenance
dwarves?
from eating
There
dirt
you
and
go.
stuff. And like Artemis Fowl was like a rich kid and his dad went missing, and a dwarf like burrowed up into his house and was like, "Don't worry. There's actually like when they use the internet and the phone lines, the data stays in the wires, so we can read it backwards. We'll find your dad." And then they went to a magic land
What?
and they had a spaghetti sandwich that I always wanted to try.
You could make yourself a spaghetti sandwich, dude.
You're an adult
I gotta
man with money.
I gotta go.
Oh shit, man, you're right. We all gotta
No,
go.
they're saying like because they go to the future for some reason at some point, and then they're like saying how the poor people eat this new thing that is like basically a pita bread with spaghetti in it because it's just all cheap ingredients with high calorie, high carb, whatever. And I
Okay.
remember reading about it, being like, I would love a spaghetti sandwich, but
Spaghetti
I
and a
don't.
pita.
Yeah, man.
Hmm.
Artemis Fowl is one of those series in elementary school that like my friends were reading that I never did. It's like the English classes split, and like one side does Lord of the Rings, one side does like The Giver or whatever. Because I've never read The Giver; it was in the opposite class.
Hmm.
Artemis Fowl was also in the opposite class, and what you're describing to me, Jamie, sounds insane.
Yeah. This
We
is
definitely
how
didn't
I
teach
remember it.
Artemis Fowl.
Yeah, this is how I remember it after years. And I'm sure there's elements of truth in that and parts that I got completely wrong, right?
Yeah,
And even before we were good friends, I was following you because you were reading interesting books. I only read Artemis Fowl because you read it. I only read Aragon because you read it.
there you go.
And that was in like
Okay.
grade 7 or 8. And we only became like much better friends in like grade 11 or 12. So this was like, yeah, I followed you on
My mom,
on the
my
lore
mom had a
path
good
early.
policy of any book I wanted to read, she would get for me.
Nice.
I definitely remember I remember Sig Sauer as a standout from Artemis Fowl, which is a brand of gun. I think it's like a gun
Yeah.
manufacturer. And I just remember his bodyguard being described as having twin shotguns that he fought with. And I was always like,
Hell
that's
yeah.
cool as hell. And he's shooting fairies and shit, you know? That's
Yeah.
Artemis Fowl lore
I-
one of these days.
Artemis Fowl lived in a mansion by himself because his dad disappeared, and he would just watch CNN all day, hoping he would see something about his dad. And then a dwarf shows up and tells him that there's energy readings in the wire so we can find it.
I've
A
seen, I
meth
see
head
like a
shows up,
half hour
starts
of
ripping the
CNN.
wires out of his walls. No, you don't understand, kid. We can get your daddies in here.
Yeah.
All the secrets. This is what we need.
Anderson
I re-
Cooper's right under the floorboards, dude. We're gonna get him.
Yeah. I really should reread or at least look up the summary of that to see if I'm even close to right. But that's what it
I just
feels
read the
like.
back flap before we do an episode. Who gives a fuck?
That's our bar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So while the elves were on the surface and the dwarves were subterranean, humans arrive at some point. It's not about them. And early humans established the Tevinter Imperium. And then the Imperium was growing with power. Tevinter, we'll all remember from some of the previous episodes, which I'm sure the listeners go back and listen to all the time, was ruled by archmages, who through the use of slavery and blood
Slavery
magic
and blood
may
magic.
or may not have pierced the veil of heaven itself and laid eyes on the empty throne of God.
God. Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, I do remember that. That's
Yeah.
I was just about to say, actually.
Yeah, exactly. The Tevinter Imperium ripped all the copper wire out of the walls to find where Anderson Cooper was hiding, and then unleashed the blight
Turns out
on the
there's no
earth.
God.
Yeah, exactly. I saw the throne of Anderson Cooper, and it was empty. So in a couple of really, really cool parts of Veilguard, you actually learn a lot about the Tevinter gods. Like, Veilguard is pretty sure the end. I'm pretty sure they're just wrapping this shit up. I think they're doing a really good job in tying up a couple of threads. Mass Effect 3, as much as I love it, was very much just like, wow, if you've ever had a single fucking question, it is answered in the last 45 minutes of this game. And it's just kind of sprinkled out. It's kind of doled out better in Veilguard, in my personal opinion. So after King Geralt died, his close friend Endrin Stonehammer, S-tier dwarf name, became king, and he moved to strengthen trade talks with the Tevinter Imperium. I've got a picture of Mr. Stonehammer, King Stonehammer right here. He actually has like in-game paintings of himself, so we actually have like a better idea of what he looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to
Tevinter,
find the spaghetti sandwich, by the way, and all I found was stinkworm bolognese that the goblins like to eat, and they just replace spaghetti noodles for stinky worms and put them in bolognese sauce. So I think I might be way off on that, but anyway.
Maybe they should put it in a pita.
could
Jamie,
be
or none.
a lonely kid in 7th grade following me around to find out what books I'm reading, just being like, boy, I'd love some stinkworm spaghetti.
Yeah.
God, it would make me so happy if I had some stinkworm spaghetti.
Yep.
My mom only ever makes me spaghetti on pita. I never get stinkworm.
Yeah.
Ethan's parents always get him stinkworm Lunchables.
Yeah. No, that's why I stink. It's because I just want to be like the fuck.
So Tevinter sent Archon Darinius down into the deep roads, and he offered himself up as a hostage. He's like, hey, listen, no harm, no foul. No harm, no spaghetti, no Artemis foul. Take me to your king. I'm here to negotiate. And then rather than take him straight to the royal halls of Kal Sharok, he was actually taken to the proving grounds, which is like some kind of combat arena where it's just like, hey, hey man, you're just gonna fight to the death. That's it. And then maybe we'll engage in trade talks. I think that would be very cool if our politicians did that now. Put them in like a sandy pit with just like two-handed hammers and just see like, how's T-Dog gonna do? You think he's still moving and shaking, or you think the live president of France is gonna fuck his shit up?
Yeah, I don't think T-Dog's gonna do very good. Honestly, he's too old. Come on, he's old. Americans love their old politicians, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, I think it's the only thing that gets your blood pumping. It's just like, wow, what's exciting thing is just like just see if another politician have just died of old age after having sabotaged a younger person's campaign to die after 8 months is beautiful. That's how I love my politics.
Yeah. I mean, they had their dementia patient in the 80s, and they haven't really. I guess Obama was quite a bit younger, but
yeah, and he's still visibly literate, so I think he's fucking give him a third term. What's he gonna do? Kill more people?
Yeah, more drone strikes. Come on, it's good for the economy or something.
So Darinius fought and defeated many opponents, up until a final one approached him, a dwarf kind of anonymously hidden in beautiful armor, wielding a warhammer made of pure lyrium. Lyrium is another magical rock. Take a drink, please. Mined by the dwarves and used by mages and Templars to enhance their abilities. So again, because dwarves cannot connect to the Fade and they cannot dream, they cannot get like the traditional kind of lyrium poisoning because raw lyrium is incredibly dangerous.
Okay.
So it is for reasons we'll touch on in a little bit. Like I said, connected to the Fade. Exposure to raw lyrium can kill people, and if Templars need to like dose it, there's like a big plot point in Inquisition where Cullen, who is the Templar companion from the first game, he's back, but he doesn't have lyrium anymore, and he suffers from lyrium withdrawal, basically. So
Okay.
they kind of use magic to fight magic, because Templars are not mages, but they do have like a lot of silencing spells, and I know they do damage based on the amount of mana that the mage still has. I think something
Is
to that
heroin
effect.
just magic rocks?
Yeah.
Depends on who you ask. I think so.
I know whenever I move out of here, I'm gonna have to wean off the lead pipes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do it all at once. Yeah.
No way.
Well, that's why they haven't
Right,
fixed
you-
them in Flint yet, because they know
No.
that would too many people.
People are going to go to lead withdrawals if they stop
Yeah.
juicing off of their flammable tap water. That is what speak on the subject of Obama. One of my favorite moments is when he has just like a glass of like cloudy Flint, Michigan water. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna drink it. I would drink it if I could, but I can't." And just like puts it down and just doesn't fucking drink
Yeah,
it.
I
It's just
know.
like
It's like-
hey, whoa, Mr.
So
President, hang on a
classic,
second here.
man. It's like the Monsanto rep. He's being interviewed in like French or in France or whatever, and this like France host is like grilling him, right? Like a good journalist should do, like not
Yeah.
softballs. And the guy's like, "No, it's safe. You can drink it." And the guy's like, "Oh, you think it's safe? You want to drink it? Like, we have some here. I could get you a cup or whatever." And
Oh
the
yeah,
guy's
that's like the pesticide that gave people like
yeah,
back cancer, right?
yeah, Roundup. And the
Yeah.
guy's just like, "Well, no, I'm not gonna drink it. I'm not stupid. But you could drink it." So
Have you seen the clip of
capitalism's good.
Obama at like he's at like a book reading and he's reading and he's like, "Yeah, I like ribs. Get me some of the ribs and pussy too."
Oh, it's yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gotta have
Just
them
talk-
ribs.
Yeah, exactly. And pussy too.
Based. So good. So since spells are drawn from the Fade, the Lyrium Hammer armed dwarf made quick work of Duranius's spells. However, he managed to continue fighting for several hours, and then when they were both tired, the dwarf then paused, and for the dramatic irony that obviously we all fucking know who the hell this guy is going to be, it's King Endrin Stonehammer. Oh my goodness. The guy who fought the Archon of Tevinter was the other king,
Good.
right?
Good for him. Yeah.
Could you imagine? The two became fast friends. Andrin gifted Durinius with 2 magic rings, Dawn and Dusk, while Durinius invited Endrin to the Tevinter capital of Mithranus to see the first fight in their new arena. And you do get to see Mithranus, finally, in a Dragon Age game in Veilguard. I think a very important city like this is a great spot to set your 20-minute tutorial mission, and I don't know if you ever go back.
Just in the tutorial. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like, great job, guys. Proud of you.
It's really that feels like you talking about them like sprinkling in like tying up loose ends or whatever, being like, well, we never sent them to Mithranus. We've talked about it so much. We got to fit it in somewhere. Where can we do it? Just like make the tutorial there. I don't know.
Tutorial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love the fact they tell me spacebar is jump in Mithranus. It's been worth waiting fucking 16 years to see it.
Yeah. There's this ancient statue of Endrin Stonehammer with his 2 stone hammers and his glowing rings of Dusk and Dawn. And at the base, there's a description that says spacebar to jump.
Yeah. The wisdom of the ancients. I never could have figured that out. So following this, like after they had like established better trade here between the Deep Roads or the Dwarven Empire and the Deep Roads and the Tevinter Imperium, Durinius went on to declare himself the first Archon and establish the Tevinter Magisters, one of whom is Corypheus, the main antagonist of Dragon Age Inquisition, whom I fucking love. Every time I do a Dragon Age episode, I watch the clip of Corypheus like doing his like speech about seeing the empty throne of Anderson Cooper, and I'm like, this is so fucking cool. He is so fucking cool, man. I just goddamn love him.
And he's a dark bomb. Is that a
He is
spoiler?
now, but OG to Vinter Mage. He's a Magister.
Okay, so he was like
He's
a
like,
human because you said like he's still around. I was like, how's he still around if he's a human? Humans don't live that long.
no.
Dwarves and elves.
He's full of like blight and red lyrium, which is why he's basically immortal. But he was also imprisoned by the Grey Wardens. He is imprisoned, actually, I think, by the dad of the protagonist of the second game. Like Hawk's father was a Grey Warden who imprisoned Corypheus in like some kind of temple, so he was just kind of in like magic stasis. And
Okay.
then in the DLC for Dragon Age 2, which play Inquisition, then go back and play the DLC, does make Dragon Age 2 kind of better in a way, because you're
Okay.
like, oh, nice. Because Corypheus is like the cliffhanger. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the Dragon Age series does put cliffhanger endings for their sequel bait in their fucking DLC. So if you want to see how the game is supposed to end, cash money, please. But Corypheus is like unleashed by accident by Hawk, and then he causes all the problems for Dragon Age Inquisition, and then those problems cause problems for chubby little cat. God, look at his face. Cause problems for Veilguard. So the games all kind of like weave into each other, and the different protagonists are neat because it's like, you know, it's not like Forrest Gump where like some guy is just at every single important event that's ever happened in history. It's a bunch of different people, and they kind of all converge based on these events. But Corypheus was in magic prison for like millennia, basically. He is the last was the last surviving Tevinter Magister who had pierced heaven and gone in there.
Is Veilguard? You say he was in Magic Prison for centuries. Does Veilguard take place much like way later than Dragon Age 2?
It is 10 years after Inquisition. Inquisition takes place. I don't know what the gap between 2 and Inquisition is. I know the hero of Ferelden, who is the generic term for your protagonist from Dragon Age Origins, is still alive as of Inquisition, because there is like, I think there's mail you can read from Morrigan, who's a very important character. She's like the forest
Mhm.
witch.
Yeah.
She, if you
That's
romance
the
her in the
big
first
booby
game,
swamp lady. I was pretending to be.
we're
The
bringing it
Got my
back
attention.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I romanced Morrigan in Dragon Age Origins,
Of
because
course.
if she has a baby, then the baby turns into some kind of like demigod that she uses later on in the third game or something. I can't remember. It's been like a decade.
I
since I played
romanced her
this shit.
because she's incredibly based and obviously the best choice.
And
So,
the big booby
the
swamp
only,
lady.
truly the only choice. Big booby
Yeah.
swamp lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like fuck. What's her name? The weird French assassin nun.
Yeah.
She's an extremist. Obviously.
The incel paladin. No, thank you. Okay.
Hell no. He's gonna go into withdrawal. Fuck him.
He would bust so fast the first time he got that armor plate off and you actually did something to him.
Oh yeah.
The light would come very fast. Yeah. Yeah.
So, politics in Tevinter got a little wacky after Darius' death. So, King Endred moved the dwarven capital from Kal Sharok because it was close to the surface and like underground near the Tevinter Imperium, and he moved it to the current location of Orzammar, which is underneath Ferelden, which is at the time more stable. Of course, we know what happens later on in the games, but at this point, he was just like, I don't know what this like. We're gonna still do trade here, but it's a little less. It's nice to not be quite so close to a totally erratic and unstable trading partner. But we're going to get more on the Dwarven Kingdoms after the break. Welcome back from the break, everybody. So, after the Magisters of Tevinter entered the Black City of the Maker, the first Blight was unleashed. Now, minor spoilers for Veilguard. It is revealed that lyrium is the blood of Titans, who are like ancient giants of creation. I don't know if they're continent-sized. There's, again, in the very good and very cool companion quest for Harding, you do see one, and it is the classic. I love, there's a couple of cliches I love. We've talked about this before. Boat where a boat shouldn't be. Great. Indiana Jones, The Witcher, Boat in a
Good one.
Mountain. Excellent.
Mhm.
Love it. The new Tomb Raider games. Fuck me up, dude.
Mhm.
Another one I really do love is the body of a giant man that is just like kind of buried and turned into mountains. at this point. So there is like a really
Okay.
good skybox that you see in Veilguard where there's just like a dead Titan and you can see his fingers and like chunks of his head. Kind of like the Celestials we were talking about during
Yeah.
like Null and whatnot. Like Nowhere. Very cool.
That
Love
comes up in Malazan as well with Ethan and I have read. There's a
it. Right. Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
So lyrium, the magical rock that kills mages, is the blood of titans, and then the corrupted version of it, the blighted version of it, because lyrium is not necessarily alive, but like part of a living thing. The corrupted one is red lyrium, and red lyrium is a big thing in, I think, Dragon Age 2, but especially in Inquisition, because the Templars who are dosing lyrium end up getting dosed with corrupted red lyrium and turn into like crystalline like monsters that are like suffer from mind control and shit like that.
Okay.
The Titans were disconnected from the Fade intentionally by the Evanuris, who are the ancient elven gods. This would be like the two primary villains of Dragon Age Veilguard, who are Elgranon, Gillenane, and Solus, the bald elf companion from Inquisition, who is like, he is revealed to be an elven god called the Dreadwolf, or Fen Harel, I believe. It's
Okay.
his like
Fentanyl.
legal name, sort of thing.
He gets disconnected from fentanyl.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Don't try the
Solus
red
or fentanyl, as we know him now. So lyrium like sings to people in their minds, just like the Blight does. The song of the Blight that the archdemons use to control the Darkspawn, which we'll get into, and also the Grey Wardens, because Grey Wardens are immune to Blight because they are blighted. They all kind of eventually go crazy and go into the deep roads to kill, just like you just fight until you die sort of thing.
Okay.
But there is like the song of the Blight plays in your mind, and there's a big chunk of, I haven't finished it yet. You do get a Grey Warden companion in Veilguard. I'm not done his quest line. It's also quite good. But there's a big side plot. Like one of his companions is clearly going fucking crazy. And I personally, maybe I finished it at this point when you guys listen to this episode. I don't think that's going to end well. Personally, I'm just going to bury the fucking lead there. Like, I don't really know if that's going to go well for him.
No, I think going crazy is good.
Yeah.
So
When you're looking at a bunch of like corrupted meat in a bunch of like laboratory jars, and you're just like, they're singing to me. I don't know if that's like
It's
a
good.
great.
No, it's good. Because here's the thing, dude, and what you're not thinking about, Peter, is that the establishment wouldn't want you to do that. So if the establishment doesn't want you to do something, that means that it's actually good.
Right, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have stinkworm sandwiches.
Yeah.
Who's stopping us, huh? The establishment. Stopping us from
Obama,
eating
he's
our-
all about ribs and pussy. Never
Yeah.
said anything about stinkworms.
Nothing about,
Well,
stinkworm sandwiches. Well, I could go for one, but I won't. And he puts a cup of stinkworm sandwich down.
honestly, this sack of meat over here might be singing a spaghetti sandwich into existence sometime soon. Sounds pretty good.
Made fried ramen patties in the past, which is what I was thinking about with like teriyaki and like soy sauce.
Mhm. I've made macaroni and cheese before, so
That's pretty cool.
that's something
cool.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time I cooked a potato.
What?
How?
How's that, Peter?
How many
You
ways?
ever have a
does this
Monte Carlo
Oh,
scallop
no. I wouldn't. Do that. I would never.
go? I fucking scallop
smash-
potatoes so hard, dude. They're so good.
mashed, boiled, French fried.
I just left mine in the
um,
sun.
Okay.
You just break off little vines for a snack when you walk out of the door.
Sun dried potato.
In a little jar. It's just all the little roots everywhere. Yeah.
I had a potato when I was younger. I was living with a friend of the show, Oren. We had like a bag of potatoes, and one of them just went crazy. Like they were all fine, but one of them was like alpha potato, and we took it out and put it on top of our fridge just to watch it kind of grow. And his name was Tony Starch. And we just had it on top of the fridge for like months.
Nice.
Where was I here? Right, so the Blight is the opposite of the Lyrium. The song Lyrium plays in your mind is a song of creation. The Blight is a song of destruction, as I understand it. Have not finished the game at the time of writing. I could be wrong, but I don't fucking care. It's Loreboy's canon. Lyrium, when corrupted, like red Lyrium, like I was saying, it can mutate anybody who's ingested it, like the Templars. But you can also mutate and control dragons. So Corypheus's main goon in Inquisition is the Red Lyrium dragon. He's managed to corrupt a high dragon, and then he mind controls her through the power of Red Lyrium. But he's also connected to the Blight, all that sort of shit, and then that's how he's got her, basically.
So they call
anyway,
it a
again,
Dragon Age, but really, like, the dragons are just cucks. Not really a Dragon Age, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it
Kinda.
used to be a Dragon Age was when there was like an adult high dragon present, because there's one in the first game, and like Flemeth can transform into one. My cat's wilding out right now. I'm so sorry if you guys can hear that. I can hear it through the headphones. But
never mind, I can't.
there's a Dragon Age is supposed to be like when there's like a mature high dragon who is currently present.
Okay.
And then in Dragon Age 2, you still fight one, so it's like, okay, it seems very quick because Dragon Age 2 kind of happens during
Right after.
Dragon Age Origins. And then in Inquisition, it's just like, there's just like 10, and that's how you get epic loot. They're just fucking everywhere. It's like, okay, well, this just means, the title of the game just means nothing now.
Nothing
like, what is a
anymore,
Dragon Age? And there's also, there's 2 in, well, two minimum at least that I've seen thus far in Veilguard as well, but they're like under the mind control of the Evanuris. So it's, I'll give him a pass on fucking that one.
And those are the elf gods.
Yeah, exactly. Where was I here? So those mutated by the Blight turn into, I swear we're getting back to the dwarves. So those mutated by the Blight turn into Darkspawn. They are the servants of an archdemon, which is a blighted dragon, but like with a specific demonic spirit inside of it. It's like the OG had like a Tevinter god in its body, and that makes it an archdemon rather than the Red Lyrium dragon or just like a straight up blighted dragon sort of thing. Yeah,
Extra special.
it is different. Yeah, an archdemon is specifically powerful, and it sings and can control Darkspawn itself. It organizes them, in some sense. It's just the head of the horde.
The ants go marching one by one.
Hurrah!
Hurrah! Hurrah!
It hits the
That's a
hurrahs. Without the hurrah, they're kind of scattered, disorganized.
Yeah.
A little stick falls in front of them. They lose the line. They panic.
Yeah.
Right. We've all seen A Bug's Life.
That dragon hits them with I think that was ants. The dragon then hits them with right?
Yeah.
Little revelry.
I haven't seen either Ants or A Bug's Life in 20 years, so I couldn't say whether you're right or
Because
wrong.
when they're marching to war with the termites, and the termites start spitting acid and like
That is ants.
Regiments of the ant soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. That was ants. But
Okay.
I'm also an idiot, so I don't fucking know.
I haven't seen a VHS in quite some time.
My neighbor knocked on my door today and asked me, "What is this, James?" And
a VHS copy of Ants.
it was a machine to rewind VHS tapes after you're done with them.
Be kind to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That guy must have felt so smart when he invented that, and then the DVD came out, and then his wife cheated on him, and I guarantee he killed himself in the woods, right? Like after that happens.
He went onto the Underdark and started eating poisonous mushrooms till he got blooded.
Legally distinct. It's the deep roads this time, but yes, exactly. And he's
created,
just like singing to Magic Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
He created and jumped into a machine that turned him back into a baby. It was a rewind machine. He just did it all over again. Yeah.
Could you imagine
he
if
went
that was
too
his
far,
goal
though.
the whole time?
Yeah.
He like started, instead of like doing makeup testing on animals to make sure it's not poisonous, he was just like, no, if I can rewind a VHS, I can turn myself back into a baby. Like that's like that's what like H.G. Wells' Time Machine was about.
H.G. Wells predicted the VHS. Pretty incredible.
Oh, true.
It's pretty incredible. Mm-hmm.
But then he went too far past the Blu-ray, just straight to the fucking Morlocks after the moon explodes.
Yeah. You go too far past Blu-rays, you get Morlocks.
Yeah,
to life
every time.
We're flying too close to the fucking sun now. Thank God we switched to streaming and no physical media. Save us from the Morlocks.
Jamie's elderly neighbor knocks on his door. Jamie, what's this? She got a Morlock in her fucking hand.
That's a Morlock. Give it to me. I'll toss it out for you.
Give it to the cat.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill it.
Yeah, well, you haven't had any Morlocks in your basement since you got the cat. They can smell the litter, right?
Yep.
Yeah, good. Where were we? Holy fuck.
Talking about Morlocks.
Oh yeah, sorry. On the subject of Darkspawn, what I'm talking about now are modern Darkspawn. There are ancient Darkspawn in Veilguard. I'm not going to talk about that right now because if people like the Dragon Age stuff, which I very much do, let me know because the ancient Darkspawn are linked intrinsically to the Evanuris, the Elven gods. That's that. Let me know on the Discord.
Cool.
Send us an email when we do a mailbag. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So the Darkspawn are all male and therefore cannot breed, but boy howdy can they try. So what they do is capture women from the various fantasy races of Thedas, taint them with blight, and then use them to breed more Darkspawn. The female breeder of Darkspawn is called a brood mother, and a brood mother created from a dwarven woman births genlocks, who are the like gross little stubby Darkspawn. So I got a lot of pictures coming here. This is a brood mother. 8 tits, great.
Nice.
A genlock from a dwarf is this little guy here.
Oh, he's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I like him.
A herlock
Got
comes
great
from a
smile.
human being.
Okay. It's a very concerned look on that human's face, whose head he's about to cut.
Yeah. This would have been actually probably the scene where Jamie woke up. He was.
Yeah.
This is the fight where the king dies.
Looks familiar. Yeah.
Elves turn into shrieks, which are kind of like hunchback assassin guys with Wolverine claws. And then the Canary turn into ogres.
Right.
Which is just like big guy with horns turns into bigger guy with bigger horns, sort of thing. It's actually an ogre that kills the king we've been talking about.
10 tits, cleft lips, in my own lane, thriving.
Yeah. So the first blight after Tevinter had pierced heaven started actually fairly quietly. The early evidence that there were consequences for what the Tevinter Magisters had done was like kind of mainly merchants and travelers among the deep roads kind of just disappearing. So people just kind of started to vanish, and like it's a bunch of dwarven dads basically leaving for smokes and then never coming home. And eventually, the capital city of Orzammar was just like one single dwarf mom happens. 2 is a coincidence, but now like 50 dads leaving for cigarettes. There's something else going on here. We need to investigate. Yeah.
Cigarettes can't be that good. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. They like saw the empty throne of God, and then like nicotine just starts to plague Thedas.
Dwarf John Hamm in his office with a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of red magic rock juice.
It's
or whatever.
tainted.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually good. Hang on, I'm gonna look Mad Men Dwarf. I need to write. Hang on, sorry, Vamp boys, we're good.
John spaghetti sandwich. Instead of
I don't know what the hotkeys for Copilot are now, but apparently.
Food. Let's go back to listing foods. That was good. The bit we were doing before, where we list foods that we can make. Right. Jamie, let me cut you off. Peter already said something about ramen, so you can't.
Okay. Fuck. Well, keep going, Pete. I'll be ready by the end of the episode.
Yeah, no worries.
Celery.
So after all these, after some of the dwarves had become addicted to nicotine and started disappearing in the deep roads, soldiers began to patrol the deep roads, and even they began to disappear. Are cigarettes really that addictive?
No. A soldier would never do a cigarette. Come on.
No. Yeah. The military is never.
It's on American.
In the MREs, yeah, like literally given by the government. Dude,
like cigarettes made from Oklahoma. One of the things I don't smoke, but one of my favorite things about like Steve MRE is when he like smokes a dart from like 1910. Yeah, like 100-year-old cigarette. It's got to be so good.
And he smokes it. He goes smooth. He loves every bit of it. I think he just gets off on like the ingesting the history part of it because it's the only thing he can still eat. Yeah.
Not that I've ever watched a single Steve MRE. I've only heard you guys talk about him, but like, it also has to be way more enjoyable than eating 100-year-old ham, right? It's got to be the healthiest part of the meal at that point. Not saying cigarettes are healthy.
I think the chiclets are probably the healthiest part of the meal because I don't think gum goes bad.
Oh yeah, that was the Lost at Sea Navy rations was just boxes of chiclets because the sugar in the chiclets that you eat like give you more water than like per square inch
Yeah.
than actually like water somehow or something. But I don't know. Yeah,
I'm calling
Steve
Paul.
Emery explained it.
I'm calling this is something that the Navy told sailors because they were too cheap to buy water bottles at the time. Right?
Well, I
The
think
military
water
would lie
is
to us,
better.
Ethan. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Haven't before. Why would they start now? 100 years ago.
Exactly.
I could carry a lot more chiclets than I can bottles of water, though. I will say that.
Absolutely.
Okay, I take it all
Yeah.
back. Probably
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Colonel.
So the Darkspawn.
You're just gonna put them in. I was trying to see how many potatoes I could list before, but I do like
Russet, Idaho, yellow, Yukon
Russet?
Gold. I
PEI.
said Russet. Russet was my first one.
Oh fuck yeah. Cavendish is
That's
is the brand and the farm in PEI, but I mean Cavendish potato, is that a thing?
I don't think
Yes.
so. I'll say
I'm
no.
saying yes. It's a kind of
I'll say
banana.
no.
Why can't it be a kind of potato? Fuck you.
I'll die on this field.
We can't know. We can't know. There's no way to ever know. So
It's literally impossible.
we gotta
Well,
go. We gotta move on with this.
all the paladins were doing fine with their potatoes out of the brown soil, but then they went to PEI where the red,
red
soil
soil.
was,
Yeah.
and yeah, it all
Yeah.
went to shit.
The dirt in PEI sings to you, makes people go mad.
Yeah, and then you become a newfie. You move out and become a newfie. It's the pipeline.
Yeah, exactly. That's like where you go to
pipeline.
die as a Grey Warden. You start in PEI and then you go up to Newfoundland.
Yep.
Fighting.
So all these people disappearing and buying cigarettes and chewing nicotine gum. The Darkspawn, commanded by the archdemon Dumat, and Dumat being one of the Tevinter gods, who is now, I think, corrupted and placed in the body of a dragon, in the high dragon, turning it into an archdemon. An archdemon is always a dragon, for the record.
Okay.
Right? That's like
always
how
a dragon
that works.
with the soul of another thing inside.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a
So they were actually
dragon.
they're biding their time. They're just increasing their ranks. They're capturing more ladies, turning them into 8-headed tentacle monsters who are moisturized and in their lanes, and just kind of like building up a gigantic army in the deep roads. So once their forces were ready, the Darkspawn flooded the deep roads and killed everything in their path. The now convenient walkable cities was their undoing. Their like good communist fucking public transit was their undoing, just like in real life, which is what every oil baron has been telling me for the past decade. Buy a car, don't take the bus, and trains are gay. Don't do it. It's bad.
All
Thumbs
true
down.
things.
Yep. The existing network of tunnels linking the Dwarven Tigers allowed the Darkspawn to invade and move troops wherever they needed. The first Blight was described as the single most destructive event in Dwarven history. Once it began, existing political rivalries just kind of doomed the Dwarven Tigers for nearly 100 years. The first Blight lasted 200 years. The fifth Blight in Dragon Age Origins takes like whatever the plot of the game to resolve.
2 years.
Yeah, like it we got better at it, but the first one they were like, oh no. Just imagine if COVID, I mean, we're almost there. Imagine if COVID took 200 years to solve, right? Instead of like 4.5 or some shit, whatever the fuck we're at.
Society be different. That's one thing we can all agree, right?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't, because like lockdowns never would have held for that long, right?
No.
People were barely
grocery
obeying
deliveries
them.
for 200 years.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Remember when they said we had to stay inside for 2 weeks and people were complaining?
I mean, dwarves would be all right. They'd never really go outside, right?
I mean, their equivalent of outside at the deep roads is now flooded with monsters.
Probably worse. It's less outside. They can't even
Yeah.
go to parks,
Yeah.
right? Because parks are inside.
That's it, you kids. You're getting too rowdy. Go inside and play. And you just like
Yeah,
kick them out of the house into the fucking tunnels. So Dwarven society is divided up into castes. So they have nobles, warriors, craftsmen, lot lizards, like that whole sort of thing. It's a very rigid class structure in Dwarven society. And all of these guys were just fucking fighting about like, well, my tag's been invaded by the Darkspawn, and my tag's been invaded by the Darkspawn, and my tag has been invaded by the Darkspawn. Like, there's no way we could coordinate with our network of tunnels that these fucking monsters are using to defend everything. We need to fight about it. Please send the whole army to one spot. I think that would be good. It is in my personal interest, said dwarf from this cast, basically.
And this is the first Blight.
This is the first blight, exactly.
And this is year 500 of the first blight or year 1 of the first blight?
This is, again, I didn't look up the calendar at all. This is like within the first century of the
Sure.
first blight.
Okay. This is
Like
the
there's
beginning
like
of the
multiple
first
kings
blight.
and queens who
Gotcha.
like ruled throughout this. I didn't take down everybody's name because it was just
All good. Yeah.
like 10
I'm
fucking
just
people. Yeah, but yeah,
But
it's just
then they say to start it off, hey, we've been pogrimed. We're gonna get in there. We're gonna kick them all out of our
Yeah.
ancestral homes.
Yeah, exactly. So the cast spent years are just arguing amongst themselves because they each had different priorities and couldn't get anything organized. Tig after Tig collapsed and was overrun by Darkspawn. The dwarven women, like I said, who were captured, were turned into brood mothers, who then birthed genlocks, who then used the deep roads to invade and capture more people over and over and over and over again. It's basically like, it's not necromancy because necromancy has its own magic within Dragon Age, but it is the equivalent of every time you lose somebody, especially like a lady dwarf, it is just like for every genlock you kill, if they kidnap one lady, there's 10 more coming right after that. So it's very much the obviously the first blight was defeated. Now that we're on the 5th in Dragon Age Origins, it was a Pyrrhic victory for us, the good guys, the not Darkspawn. It's just we just fought long enough until we finally wore them down, and then it was over. Eventually, after 100 years of blight, the former Smith caste, now noble caste craftsman named Caradon, forged the Anvil of the Void, which is this thing right here. Void mentioned. Take a drink, please. And it is just a magical anvil.
Okay.
It's an anvil with blue lightning in it.
It's lyrium. It's uncorrupted lyrium. It's Titan blood. So the anvil was used to create golems, living stone, or in some cases, metal warriors. And these helped turn the tides of battle once they were deployed. The creation of the golems earned Caradon the title of Paragon, which was a heroic title bestowed on legendary dwarves, whom the Shapers ensured would be remembered throughout history for all time. The first Paragon was King Endrin Stonehammer, who we talked about earlier, and on his deathbed, 2 hammers. One hammer, lyrium hammer. But he posthumously named his friend King Garal as a paragon as well. 2 hammers.
2 hammers. Gotcha.
That guy. Exactly.
Well,
Caradon,
next
however,
guy's gonna have 3, right?
Natch.
Yeah.
Well, this guy does. He used one of them to make the gold.
Right. If you had a 3-headed hammer, how would you a triangle? Or would it be more of like
No,
like a glaive?
Yeah, like a glaive.
Like a rake on the end?
Not a bad
just like the
idea,
rake
honestly. The
nails?
rake. No, you swing it like it's you're swinging it like this. Bang.
Yeah,
Bang. Bang.
You're holding 3
yeah.
fingers up.
Or like a
You'd have to have the
pitchfork. You can
middle
hit,
one.
like all 3.
The middle one would have to be longer, or else the other 2 on the sides would just get in the way, right?
I still like the glaive. I like the idea of I could just spin it, like I can like make it do a cartwheel along a board, like I go like and it'll like
Oh, I
hit
didn't even
every nail
consider
in.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like building a stair set, you put all the nails in just
Like a
like
Slinky?
halfway.
A hammer on a slinky. Thank. This is a good idea. Has anyone done this?
Patent pending,
Can we
patent
patent
pending,
that?
patent
Can we
pending.
patent
Okay.
that?
I like hammer on a
the hell?
slinky a lot.
Yeah.
So the anvil was used to create golems. Oh, sorry, I read that already. Hurry. Caradon, however, after all this, he eventually disappeared, and the anvil was lost when the Orton Tig was originally, where it was originally constructed, was completely overrun by Darkspawn. Later, and spoilers for Dragon Age from 2009, it was rediscovered, and then we find out that Caradon himself was turned into a golem using the anvil. Now, golems normally need a control rod, but what's really funny is the fact that, like, due to like political problems, the king at the time was just like, "Oh, fuck you, Caradon. I'm turning you into a golem." But no one knew how to make a control rod, so Caradon just ended up being immortal and could not be controlled. Oh yes, excuse me. And this is Caradon, by the way. He is a gigantic metal golem, very what's the
Space Marine
Full Metal
Astartes.
Alchemist?
Oh, also, yeah, Ed from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, very that.
Space Marine with a larger breastplate.
Smaller head, teeny tiny head for a Space Marine for an Astartes, but
It's more the what are the other guys there? Like a Terminator. Terminator armor is like the
Mhm.
kind of sunken in. I think.
Yeah, it's like kind of a mech
Yeah.
ass
Yeah.
deal though, right? Because Terminators, they get like they're like blown apart, right? And they're like grafted into the machine to like they
Are
can
they?
never leave. Am I thinking of something else?
The Dreadnought is like the guy in the
Oh, maybe
sarcophagus where
it's
it's
the
like
Dreadnought.
plugged in,
The
right?
Dreadnought is what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what's inside a Terminator. French at us. Let us know. So the anvil
Mhm.
didn't exactly bolster the dwarven forces, as later on we discovered that you actually need to kill someone and use their soul to power the golem's body. They're obviously like several thousand times more robust than a dwarf or a human, what with our like tender flesh and our glass
Yeah.
bones, as we've discussed since then. So it's like honestly, one for one, not that bad. Karadin's early golems were volunteer souls. However, the king at the time that I mentioned, Valtor, began just converting criminals and the homeless into golems, two categories of people that I actually consider to be the same as a modest, Jesus-loving conservative.
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
The player's golem companion in Dragon Age Origins, Shale, was once a dwarven woman centuries ago, and she was eventually deactivated and set up in the town square of a city called Honleith, which you just find her in with a control rod and like turn her back on.
Cool.
Shale, having been a statue for hundreds of years, hates pigeons, which is very funny. But the trivia
That's
section on the wiki has like a quote from one of the writers, David Gator, and he says that Shale's hatred was influenced by, in quotes, a combination of forced pigeon sex viewings and my bristling hatred for everything outdoors.
Okay.
The fuck does
okay.
that mean?
I'm glad we included pigeon sex in the lore canonically, right?
Finally.
What's important to remember about the people that create these beautiful worlds that we love is
They're
that none of
freaks.
them are freaks.
Yeah. Zero of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
It's
All of
the duality of man right there, the yin to my
yeah.
yang.
Yeah.
Uh, so, despite the golems, the dwarves lost all but two of their tigers. So the dwarves, the empire of the dwarves, did come to ruination. Basically, the last two of remaining cities are Kalsharok and Orzammar, old and current capital,
And not
respectively.
Mithranor.
Sorry,
And not Mithranor? Is
Mithranis
not
is
Mithranix,
Tevinter
sorry.
Imperium, a surface city. Yeah.
Oh, this is a surface city.
Tutorial land is on the surface. Ethan,
It's on the
please
surface.
remember. Right?
Gotcha. I thought it was a tag.
No. Where was I here? Some dwarves at this point have actually moved to the surface, and this made me think of the Expanse. Actually, the surface dwarves are called surfacers, and there's like cultures of. It just reminded me of the Belters. It's like a different
Mhm.
culture of like person. One of the main characters, like the probably the most important character in the series, because he is important in 2 Inquisition and Veilguard, is actually Varric Tethris, or Tethris, I think. He is the narrator of Dragon Age 2. He's a companion in Dragon Age Inquisition, and he is also a major character in Dragon Age Veilguard. And he's just got a great design, man. He's just a handsome little guy.
Yeah.
That's a real short king right there.
I mentioned I have one of the comic books. He's like a major character in it.
Yeah.
Major character, Varric.
One of my favorite plot points about him in Dragon Age Inquisition is that he is also like the framing device of Dragon Age 2 is that he's being kind of interviewed by the Inquisition, by Cassandra, who is also a companion in Dragon Age Inquisition. And like some of the silly stuff in Dragon Age 2, it does have like the very classic smash cut to just like, oh well, that didn't happen, and it's like, oh yeah, sorry, like I'm making shit up, like sort of thing. Look, the tutorial in Dragon Age 2 is Varric just making shit up, which is
Yeah.
funny. It's better than fucking it's Mithranis, whatever, get out of here, kind of sort of thing. Like it's
Go
very
play
cool.
inside.
Yeah, but like he's like a fiction author was like his original thing before he got wrapped up in politics, and he writes canonically. He writes like airport smut novels for women, basically. That Cassandra, the Inquisitor, loves. And like there's like a whole like the companion quests kind of overlap with each other in Inquisition, and her thing is just like, well, how does whatever my smutty thing that I like fucking masturbate to at night end? And he's just like, I'll give you an early copy if you stop being such a fucking bitch to me. And she's like, oh my god, give it to me, sort of thing. Like it's very fun. But he writes like canonically writes pornographic literature for women.
Beautiful.
Is like excellent.
Isn't there a comic about that? The Black Frontier? Isn't that
Yeah.
the same genre? Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like Varric so much. He and I had
Mhm.
two short kings in a pod, dude. Like it's
Mhm.
great. Two little peas. Right. So other than he's like we kind of discussed earlier, and I'd mentioned like Hawk, the lead from Dragon Age 2, is a major character in Inquisition, and you do actually get to interact with the Inquisitor, at least in some of the quests that I did in Veilguard. And when you do character creation in Veilguard, you get to remake your Inquisitor. And I don't know when they fucking did this. They rehired clearly all 4 of the voice actors because there is American male, American female, and then British male, British female when you remake your Inquisitor. So they brought they brought them all back, which is pretty cool. It's not as cool as having Hawk and being part of a plot in Inquisition because the Inquisitor basically shows up and just like, do you remember me from the character creation screen? And then leaves and then just like sends you mail every once in a while talking about like a very cool war that is happening off screen, which I am not thrilled about. But, like does send you correspondence every once in a while.
Yeah.
So some of the lost Tigers have been rediscovered over time by expeditions often led by the player character. You go to a bunch of them. There's a DLC I never played for Inquisition that goes to one of the lost Tigers. There's obviously Shale, which is like Prisoner of Stone, I think is a DLC for the first game. That's another one. And then you straight up do like fight Carradine to get the Anvil of the Void in Dragon Age Origins, which is really cool. Finally, after 200 years, Dumat was finally killed by the newly founded Grey Wardens during the Battle of Silent Plains, which the remaining Dwarven armies did participate in. And then without the Archdemon, the Darkspawn, like we were saying, were very disorganized. They don't know how to make spaghetti burgers or whatever the fuck. And they're much easier to hunt down and kill. However, even to this day, the remaining Dwarven forces are the ones keeping them at bay in the deep roads between blights. The Darkspawn don't just like drop off the map when they don't have an Archdemon. It's just that, and the Dwarves have just been fighting them forever, which is why they're a little bit resentful of everyone else by the time of the 5th Blight in Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah.
But that's been the Lore Boys episode of the Dwarves from Dragon Age. I've been your host, Peter O'Donohue. You can find me at Lore Boys Podcast on Instagram. You can find my book, The Black Frontier, which is absolutely airport smut, linked below on Amazon. Fellas.
Twitch.tv/LoreBoyJames. I'll probably play Baldur's Gate 3 if you want to see more CRPGs. But come on, hang out Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 p.m. EST. And how about you, Ethan?
I'm out of focus. If you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/loreboys. Check it out. You can also leave us a rating or review on your podcast app of choice. It does help us to continue to grow, or tell your grandma about the show, huh? For Lore Boys Prime, a service which we've always offered for those who don't trust Patreon, of course, we are offering a very special prize this week. Jamie's going to make you Monte Carlo potatoes, and he's going to send them in the mail for everyone who can send us an email with one food type on it. Okay, and it can't be any of the food types we've ever said on any episode of the podcast. Okay,
and when you're done with them, make sure to rewind them before sending back the skins. Okay.
Yes, we want baby potatoes when we get them back. Okay, not full grown potatoes, not adult potatoes, baby potatoes, or rutabagas, or whatever. Because we got to get a little creative. We can't afford that many potatoes, so Jamie's gonna use what he has on hand to make the potatoes for the Lore Boys primers this week.
And it's mostly overgrown potatoes on top of my fridge that we've been seeing how big they can get. But that means there's lots to go around because they've gotten pretty dang big, I gotta say.
Yeah. Tommy Tuberville on top of my fridge.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think that would constitute a Lore Boys.
Lore Boys.
Out.